Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. Well, I reviewed, since I previously reviewed, the film that Ready Player One, which came out earlier this year. I liked the film, just had a couple of flaws, like which I didn't care for our lead guy and our villain, so they both kind of sucked. I would say they sucked, but I overall did still like Ready Player One. Didn't hate the movie because of his great visuals, all the pop culture references, the score, especially the Shining scene, which I loved. Now, if you and that film got positive reviews too. And now, if you a film that came out a month before Ready Player One came out, that film got critically acclaimed. Has a lot more praise than Ready Player One did. And of course, this is the review of one of the best top films of this year, Black Panther. Now I would say based on this review, this I would say is a rant. I would say sadly it's a rant because I was underwhelmed / disappointed in Black Panther. But now, just don't get on me because it's a critically acclaimed film that I don't like the film. One thing is though, Ready Player One got praise from critics. I liked the film. But that film wasn't as overhyped as this film was. This film got so much hype. I would say, it got so much hype that I would say it is overhyped. And now, Black Panther is a popular Marvel character, of course. T'Challa, the King of Wakanda. I was looking forward to seeing a Black Panther film because since he debuted in Captain America: Civil War, Chadwick Boseman did a good job playing T'Challa. But I will say, positives first, I will still say that the acting was good. So I will give praise for the acting. Because Chadwick Boseman, acting-wise, as T'Challa, he still does a good job. I will also say that. Now, Michael B. Jordan, now, what's the one thing is, his acting-wise in this film was good, too. I just didn't care about his villain. But acting-wise, he was good for what he had to work with. Lupita, I mispronounced the name. Her right there, who is kind of like the girl who likes T'Challa. She's been in some films as well. I think she won supporting actress, the Oscar for supporting actress in 12 Years a Slave, and some other films as well, starring in. She was fine too. Danai Gurira, best known for playing Michonne from The Walking Dead. I thought she did a really good job. I thought she was very badass in the film as the general of the Black Panther's bodyguards, the general of the female warriors. Character name was Okoye. I thought she did a really great job. Just how he went with the spear and all that. I just said to think, which he's handling the spear or whatever. It just reminds how she was when she played Michonne on the Walking Dead. I'm sure a lot of people like the film because she was in it. Because a lot of people like Michonne from the Walking Dead. She's a very popular character. But she did a really good job. Martin Freeman, who plays Agent Ross, who also appeared previously in Captain America: Civil War. I liked him as well. Angela Bassett, who plays T'Challa's mother, she was fine too. Forrest Whitaker, I thought he was good too. And his name is on the cast here, but Daniel Kaluuya, starring in Get Out. That's a film that got universally acclaimed praise. Has a 99% Rotten Tomatoes. That film, I love Get Out. That's a critically acclaimed film that I really did enjoy. And Daniel Kaluuya did a great job in Get Out. I liked him in the film as well. He was fine too. And You don't see him here, but and Andy Serkis, who comes back as Ulysses Claw. I thought he was fun. At least he was one of the best parts of the film for me, and it's a shame that they killed him off. I think I mentioned this before. I think I mentioned in some videos past I mentioned that pissed me off that he got killed. He seemed to be a much better villain than Michael B. Jordan was as Killmonger. Other than the acting, the acting from the cast. Okay, it's directed by Ryan Coogler. This guy directed the first Creed film. I did not like Creed. I was concerned about the director going to make this film. I did not like Creed. I especially did not like Michael B. Jordan's character of Creed. To me, it was unlikable. Well, it's not Michael B. Jordan's character. It's not Michael B. Jordan's fault. It's how the script gave him to be like that. But I was skeptical how the guy who directed directed Creed directed this film. Yeah. I just think it's made the right choice to direct Black Panther. Well, because I don't know. I just think it wasn't the choice for the director to direct this Black Panther film. But other than the stuff I just didn't care for, okay. Well, the whole plot and then all the action sequences, I was always disappointed was and underwhelmed was the action, and especially all the stuff you saw you saw all in the trailers. Gave all that away. I hate when trailers do that. We just basically give everything away. And there was not much of the Black Panther suit of the T'Challa wearing the Black Panther suit much in the movie. Only wearing it a few times for a few scenes, but that was it. So over a 2-hour film, not much of Black Panther. And the villain's plot is just, I think was silly and stupid, I would say. And the visuals, especially towards the end when T'Challa's fighting Killmonger towards the end, that was not to me. When I compare the visuals in Ready Player One to the finale of the third act of the film, the visuals in that just reminds me of the crappy CGI I saw in Justice League. All that big video game type of CGI from all the big fight towards the end of Justice League with Steppenwolf and the parademons and all that stuff. I did not need to see that in this, especially when they're fighting down into the where with the vibranium arm, the magnetic train, and all that stuff. Just I did not need to see that. So that's why I was like the CG in this, especially this film would cost $200 million, and I was just did not get. And I didn't like the CGI in that. Especially when they're falling down, when they're fighting each other along with the. The visuals, and especially compared to Ready Player One, where I just reviewed it, that visually was much better to me, and that cost $175 million, a little bit less than Black Panther did. And compared to Justice League, that cost $300 million. So, yeah, but visually, I say like how comparing it to Ready Player One, but that was my previous review. Visually was better looking than the visuals in the third act of the film, and that cost less than this film did. So, but yeah, but going through it, okay. Oh, how it opens up, but visuals though. Like I like how it like the sand, holding with the sand, how it creates the sand, how it tells when T'Challa's father explains how Wakanda came to be, like the meter with the vibranium, how Wakanda came to be, and how it proved all their city and their tech and all that. But like created through the sand sequence, like visually I like that though, but just different than how it was in the third act though. But still, and when it opens up after that, it opens up like to like 1991 or 2 in Oakland, California. And a guy who was an arms dealer, played by Sterling K. Brown, and this other guy who was like his right-hand guy, who we found is young Forrest Whitaker. They knock on the door, and the young Forrest Whitaker says, "Well, there's these two Grace Jones with spears," which I thought was kind of funny because not to like Conan the Destroyer. But he opens it up. It's T'Challa's father, young T'Challa's father in the Black Panther suit, and you find out that Sterling K. Brown is T'Challa's uncle, his father's brother, and tells him that just you are a traitor because you've been helping Ulysses Claw and his Serkis steal vibranium, so you need to come back, trial and all that. Then it cuts to the present day. It's after Captain America: Civil War. T'Challa comes back home. Well, after there's a fight scene which, like I said, the action sequences in this film I thought was a letdown. It wasn't much, especially this first action scene, because first of all it was too dark to see. It's at nighttime because he's in one of his high tech crafts. And Danai Gurira, Michonne from The Walking Dead, tells him, don't freeze. He says, "I never freeze." And he throws some stuff at the vehicles to disable them. And it's at nighttime, especially he's wearing a black suit. It was just I couldn't see much because it was totally dark. It was hard to see. I couldn't see much, and especially when they're shooting, you see a bunch of flashes, and he's doing some flips and stuff like that. I couldn't barely see anything because it was dark, and he's wearing a black suit, so it was hard to see. So that's what they say. The first action scene right there wasn't much. Essentially, I couldn't see much either. So, and he goes back because among those like the group of hostages was Lupita Nyong'o, mispronouncing her name once again, I'm sorry for that, but she was among the group of hostages because she was like spying on the bad guys, I guess. But he takes them back to Wakanda, which is hidden in isolation, hidden from the world because they want to find out about all this high-tech stuff that they have hidden. Go back to his kingdom. Angela Bassett, who plays his mother, and he has a sister. Who plays his sister? Letitia, Wright, Shuri. Although I did like that, I thought it was a funny moment when Spock gives him the middle finger. Although though there I got one or two jokes that I thought I got a chuckle at though, but some other jokes I didn't think it was funny. Just like when his sister shows him, because she's like in charge of creating all this new stuff for T'Challa, like the different suits, or this one joke where I didn't think was not funny, where he was like, "Oh, what are those?" Because he's wearing sandals, and why don't you try these new shoes? They're soundproof. I call them sneakers. Get it? Because yeah, that joke I didn't think it was not that funny. So, but he shows him the new suits. And then he speaks with Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out. He's like, there's different tribes. He has Daniel Kaluuya's part of the border tribe. He has rhinos, CG rhinos, which get to later, because I thought I'll get to that later. I think he's in love with Danai Gurira, who plays Okoye, because he says "my love," I think. And because he had some loved ones who were killed by Andy Serkis, Ulysses Claw, so he wants T'Challa to bring him here, either dead or alive. And before that, he does they have this tradition of because he's now king, which I thought in Captain America: Civil War, since when his father died, I thought he already becomes king when his father died because he's the prince and get it, but I thought he was already declared king when his father died, I guess. But I guess when he comes back, he has to do the thing to make him become king, I guess. And which because there's this tradition of this challenge. Forrest Whitaker as Zuri gives him this liquid stuff for him to drink. Like it takes away his abilities, his strength, the ability of the Black Panther, strength and all that. And someone has to fight him in a fair fight, hand-to-hand combat. No one wants to fight him except for this one tribe, the Ape Tribe, which the leader is M'Baku, or also known in the comics, he's known as Man-Ape. Which they should have, because I don't think they chose M'Baku, because I think Man-Ape was like a racer name, I don't know. But yeah, I always call him Man-Ape, because that's what he was in the comics. Yeah, you call him M'Baku, but Man-Ape. He challenges him, they fight, he loses, or he yields, that's the thing, he yields, so he loses. T'Challa is now the king, but he has to take there's this flower to give him the strength of the Black Panther. They bury him, and he sees, like, the vision, like, the sky is, like, all purple and all that, and he sees his father. And now he's king. And then it cuts to London, in this London museum, Michael B. Jordan as Eric Stevens, a.k.a. Killmonger. And which he's in this in one scene, and then he's not in it for a good chunk of the film until he comes in, like, almost an hour in. So he's in for this one scene, because he's our main villain. He's in this only for this one scene, appears for like maybe a few minutes, and then he's not in for a good portion of it until like when he rescues Andy Serkis. So he's not in for like a good middle of it. But he's in this museum, looking at these artifacts, saying that this is from Wakanda, it's been stolen, and this woman gets this coffee poisoned. Ulysses Claw comes in, and to me, sadly though, he's a much better villain than Michael B. Jordan was. And like he's hoping he pulls up and wearing as disguised as paramedics. He comes in walking in with a smile on his face, shoots some people, and he's like, there's one guy, hey, come here. You can go, just don't tell anyone. And then the guy runs, bang. He's like, why did you shoot him here? Well, it's better to leave the crime scene more spread out. Makes us look like amateurs. And he has his arm cannon. The steel thing to shake off what has vibranium. So they get that, and that's when you don't see Michael B. Jordan until like a good portion later. So that's another thing there. He's our main villain, but you don't see him a good portion. You don't see him for a good 30 full minutes. So he comes in like almost an hour later. And then T'Challa, because now he has traces where Ulysses Claw, where he's going to be at, so it's in South Korea. So he goes there, takes Danai, Gurira, and what's her name? I forget the one who's in love with T'Challa. They go to the casino, this hidden casino in South Korea. Then he sees Agent Ross there, Martin Freeman. Tells him that because he's the one who's making a deal, doing an undercover deal with Claw. And then you get Stan Lee's cameo. Stan Lee, may he rest in peace now. This is now gonna be sad. Every time you watch a Marvel film, you see his cameo. It's just gonna be sad. Now he's now passed on. Yeah, so because they're at this craps table, and it's like Martin Freeman's like, "Hey, you won." And then Stan Lee comes in, I'll just keep these just for safekeeping. It's sad, though, but still. So Claw gets there to make the deal with Martin Freeman. Danai Gurira gets to me, she did obviously more good action sequence than Chadwick Boseman did as Black Panther. And he doesn't use the suit that much. So, yeah, that's saying that her character of Okoye did a lot more good stuff than Black Panther did, sadly. And, she's like, how she uses with a spear and all that, kicking butt. And then Claw, was like, with the T'Challa's like, you look just like your old man, in his arm cannon blasts him, uses him to shield, pushes him back, and then Mike is like, I made it rain. I mean, Andy Serkis to me looked like he was having fun in the role as Claw. Yeah, he was in Age of Ultron when he got his arm cut off by Ultron, And I was like, don't compare me to Stark. And because it shows like how maybe people say he was acting more like a cartoonish character, but because it shows how crazy the guy is, though. He shows how he's a serious threat though, because he causes terror and all that. But this thing shows how he's also crazy too. Just how the way he laughs and all that stuff. Andy Serkis did a good job as Claw. I wish they would not have killed him off. You know, give him another chance to be another film, which shows how he's more of a threat. How he is, because how he spreads more terror and all that stuff. I mean, because my dad agrees with me too, because he also says they wish when I killed him off as well. He said it was premature. His character was premature, which is another funny thing that it was like the same thing with that character Snoke from Force Awakens and Last Jedi that also Andy Serkis played. I mean, you build that character up in Force Awakens, which to me was not good anyway, but I didn't care though. But still, this mysterious Snoke character that this New Order had to follow, you build him up in that, and then by the Last Jedi, him sitting in the chair doing and then to the character Rey, and then all of a sudden he just dies. So you build this little mysterious character in Force Awakens. All of a sudden he's bringing him back, and then it's him to just be died, cut in half by Kylo Ren, his lightsaber, or was it Rey's lightsaber or whatever. I'm just pointing out that it's like that, just no character development. But here, the same thing with Andy Serkis. I mean, he had a cameo in Age of Ultron. Shows build him up to show more what the serious threat this guy can do, especially how crazy the guy is, and then just kill him off like an hour in the movie. And to me, he was much better because it could show what more he could do, more threats he can do, and just he was a much better villain than Michael B. Jordan was. I just wish he wouldn't have killed him off. That's the big issue I have with him. I wish they not killed him off. Because I thought he could be another good villain for another movie or so. But, well, what can you do about it? It's how the way the script was and how they wrote it, so nothing more you can do about it. But you can still complain about it, though, like I am. But then they get this big car chase scene, which you've seen in all the trailers. Like, he gets into Black Panther now, and the whole car chase was not that much. It's just Black Panther, he's on the top of the car. Like, I'll say a cool thing because the sister back in Wakanda, she can make it look like a holographic car and drive it, like, while Black Panther is there, like, there's nobody driving it, but she's driving it as a hologram all the way back in Wakanda. I did like that, though. But the whole car chase, he's in it, he does, like, gets one of the bad guys' vehicles to... When he absorbs enough energy, he can make this thing, make an explosion or whatever, and does, like, the flip and all that, and, then Ulysses Claw, he, gets out, uses his arm cannon to blast the one with, her and, Danai Gurira, Okoye, blasts their car, and she, Danai Gurira, she does a flip too, because she's on top of the car, and of course, you get a funny joke where the other woman, the car got blasted to pieces, and she's not, no cuts or anything on her, except the joke was that she's sitting in nothing left but her holding the steering wheel and the seat that she's sitting in, being dragged against the cement. Then Claw destroys the other car, and he tries to blast Black Panther with it. His suit absorbs it, disarms him, literally disarms him. He's like, "Have mercy, King, mercy!" He's like all smiling because in front of all this crowd here, he's gonna kill him. But then they tie him up in interrogation. And he's like, "Hello, I can see you." He's like laughing. And then when Martin Freeman interrogates, he's like, "Don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me." It just shows how Andy Serkis. I thought Andy Serkis did good with showing how crazy this character is. He's dangerous, but also crazy at the same time. Then he's telling Martin Freeman, what do you know about Wakanda? He knows what Wakanda really is. How it was originally called El Dorado, but it was the lost city of El Dorado, and he knows that they have weapons there, and and the vibranium, and Martin Freeman's like, you stole all their vibranium. He's like, I stole all of it. I took a tiny piece of it. They have a mountain full of it. They've been mining for thousands of years, and they've only begun to scratch the surface. So then I guess like an hour in, now Michael B. Jordan finally comes in. He breaks Claw out, and Black Panther, okay, yeah, he, well, first of all, Martin Freeman, he took a bullet in the back, and T'Challa, he sees the guy wearing this necklace, which was given by his father, or T'Challa's uncle. He sees that he's wearing the necklace ring. He sees that. He gets back to Wakanda, and then he asks Daniel Kaluuya. Daniel Kaluuya's asking, "Where's Claw?" And he's like, "I didn't get him." Now the thing is, though, why didn't he tell him why that he didn't get Claw? Why that That's another issue. It's like, why didn't he tell Daniel Kaluuya that they didn't get Claw? Because this guy who wore a ring, belonging to us, helped him out. He broke him out. He rescued him. Why didn't he just tell him that? Instead of, oh, I screwed up. Something like that. Whatever he said, he's like, basically, I screwed up. Why didn't you just tell him that a guy helped him out who had a ring that was similar to the one I'm wearing? Helped him out. Why didn't you just tell him that? And then with Forrest Whitaker, he goes and tells Forrest Whitaker, because, like I said, he tells a flashback, like the beginning of the film, where he was assigned to be the right-hand guy to Sterling Kane Brown, his father, T'Challa's father's brother, his uncle, basically. Undercover, basically, because he did see what he was doing. And Sterling K. Brown, he pulled out a gun. He was going to shoot young Forrest Whitaker, but then his brother deflected the bullet and killed him. It was self-defense, because he pulled a gun. He was going to shoot him. He was going to shoot him, and basically, yeah, and killed him in self-defense. And now, of course, it was wrong for him to leave, because there was the child. His Sterling K. Brown had a kid, young Eric Stevens. They just left him there. Left him with nothing, basically. Although that was wrong, too, though, and they tell him that to maintain the lie. So, and then he knows all this stuff. Why don't you just later tell him that it was Daniel Kaluuya who, why don't you tell him that it was the young kid who did this? But this is a lot of stuff in this film, like, for the plot, didn't make sense. That's another issue I have. And then you come back with Michael B. Jordan. He shoots his own girlfriend, and then he kills Andy Serkis. Just to him to go to Wakanda and bring him in, so he can pass to get in, to bring him in to get into Wakanda. Because he brings his body in to show Daniel Kaluuya, the border tribe, to show him proof that he brought him, so he can enter Wakanda. Although it would probably thinking it wouldn't matter if he brought him dead or alive, because if he brought back, it didn't matter if he brought back Andy Serkis alive. He still would have gotten to Wakanda anyway, because he brought Andy Serkis back for his crime. So it was basically pointless to kill him, because if he brought him back there alive, he still would have made it into Wakanda, be led into Wakanda. So killing him was pointless, because it wouldn't matter if he was dead or alive. If he was alive still, he was still would have been led into Wakanda, because he brought him there. So that was another pointless thing. So basically, Andy Serkis didn't have to die. But, well, I just think that they should not have killed him off. Hey, he could have brought him there alive, and just him be still alive, locked up somewhere in Wakanda. He would still be alive, but in prison, though. So, and then another thing is that when he gets brought into, like, the court where all the people are there, and tells him who he is, and Daniel Kaluuya shows him the ring, and tells him, like, oh, I found my dad with panther claws in his chest. You ain't no son of a king, you're a son of a murderer. I was like, no he wasn't. Well, first of all, why is he blaming T'Challa? Because he wasn't there for it, and he was probably just a little kid back then. So why would he blame him for it? And besides, your dad pulled a gun on young Forrest Whitaker and was going to shoot him, and T'Chaka, that was the father's name, T'Chaka, he deflected the bullet in self-defense to save young Forrest Whitaker. It was self-defense. He killed him he killed his own brother in self-defense, so that was not murder technically. But also, there's another thing, T'Challa, because Forrest Whitaker told him all this, it was self-defense. Why doesn't he say that? Why didn't you tell Killmonger that no, because your father was gonna pull a gun on Forrest Whitaker, and my father did it in self-defense. So technically, that was not murder because he did it in self-defense to save young Forrest Whitaker. There, why don't you explain into that? That wasn't technically, it's not murder. It was self-defense. Why isn't it told to everybody? That's another thing. Like, he doesn't tell Daniel Kaluuya that, oh, I didn't screw up because he, and especially Daniel Kaluuya was there. Why don't you tell him that he had wore the necklace and he rescued Andy Serkis too? He broke out Andy Serkis, so that's why he didn't get him, because he helped out Andy Serkis break him from his custody. Why don't you tell Daniel Kaluuya that as well? That's the reason why I couldn't bring him back, because he helped out for Andy Serkis. And why did you tell him all this stuff? Why did you tell him all what Forrest Whitaker told him? Because he killed his father in self-defense. So he doesn't tell him that, or anybody in that courtroom right there. So that's another thing. The whole plot, because that's all this stuff, like all this information, he doesn't tell or anything about all this stuff. And then he accepts the challenge because his blood right and all that stuff. So screw all that. What I just said. Basically, he goes, "Oh, I wanted the challenge to fight for the throne." So he takes away his powers, fight. Chadwick Boseman gets his butt kicked, and then Forrest Whitaker blocks the strike. Says, "Your father said it was my fault. Take me." He's like, "I'll take you both, Uncle James," because that's what he was back in the day. His name was James. He said, "I'll take you both, Uncle James," and stabs Forrest Whitaker, kills him. And then he takes Chadwick Boseman and throws him over the waterfall. Now he's declared king, and he takes that flower stuff and buries him, so he sees him, including with a younger version of himself and himself, right, adult self, talking with his father. So, and then why is? Okay, he's supposed to, because he feels sorry for the guy because he lost his father. But the next thing he does though, when first of all, he kills his own girlfriend because he probably uses it as a plot or a distraction, or I don't know what it was. And then after he was buried, he tells him to burn all the flowers, and the one woman says, "No, we can't do that." He just lifts her up because he has the strength though. He lifts her up like this. "I'm your king now. You will burn it." When he does that, and then when he's talking to the people, the court people, is like, "We shall use their weapons to explain who we really are, and I shall kill the people and their children as well." I'm not gonna feel sorry for this guy because he's willing to kill children. I'm not gonna feel sorry for this guy. When he was willing to kill children as well, especially when he was an older lady, his whole life like this. Because he does all this, but he's supposed to feel sorry because he was left with nothing. His father died. Well, but when he says all this stuff, you're not gonna feel sorry. I'm not gonna feel sorry for this guy now. They don't like what he's doing, except for Daniel Kaluuya, who agrees with him. He's like, "But the world is changing. It's either be the conquered or the conquerors or the conquered. I'd rather be the former." So he's with Michael B. Jordan, and they get all weapons to sell to wherever the war dogs around the world. But Angela Bassett, the sister, and also the girlfriend to Chadwick Boseman, get Martin Freeman out of there as well. before the girlfriend takes one of the flowers, they go to Man-Ape's place. They want him to take the flower. He says no, but he found T'Challa. Well, one of his fishermen found him. They make him take the flower, bury him until he sees his father and lays into his father for what he did. So then he comes back wearing the Black Panther suit. He's like, "Oh, I never yield." And I guess it's still tradition, I guess, but they don't care about that because they're all looking to fight now. He fights with some of the border tribe, and then this whole fight sequence where Danai Gurira and the rest of her soldiers fight the border tribe and also fight Michael B. Jordan as well. And then Daniel Kaluuya gets on he blows a horn, and then CG rhinos come in wearing armor plating, and and Daniel Kaluuya's riding the rhinos, the armored rhinos. I thought that was I didn't see that coming though, but I thought it was silly as well. It was silly. I'm sorry. Seeing them riding armor-plated rhinos, I thought that was kind of silly. Although I didn't see that coming though. It's just I thought that was it was totally silly though. Okay, so that's why they show the rhinos earlier, because they're gonna do something later with them. Oh yeah, put them in with armor platings and use them to ride them to mow people down with. And that all his action scenes wasn't that much either. And then Chadwick Boseman, Man-Ape gets there to help out. Then you get this one-on-one fight with Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan when they fall down in CGI land. Including them that were CG'd as well. And then they find the magnetic train or whatever, the magnetic train that carries vibranium. CG fight, except when you see close-ups of actually them there, but wide shots. And while that's going on, you got Martin Freeman. Because he was an Air Force pilot, he uses a holographic to fly one of the remote-controlled planes to take out the ones that are leaving the country with the weapons. And he does. He takes out the planes with the weapons. Then ultimately, Daniel Kaluuya, he surrendered. He was gonna run over Man-Ape, but Danai Gurira steps in front. Say, "Will you kill me, my love, for Wakanda, without question?" And then he drops his weapon. He kneels down and surrenders. So the rest of his tribe does. And then Michael B. Jordan gets stabbed by T'Challa, and he takes him up. Because his father told him that seeing the most beautiful thing was the sunset over Wakanda. So he takes him up there to see the sunset. And T'Challa tells him, "We can still heal you," but it's like, why? So you can lock me up? No. And then of course they throw this whole thing like, "I'll be like my ancestors who jump ships rather than be in bondage." Throw that in there. You get what I'm saying? My dad explained, so because how the slaves were and all that back then, the jump ships or whatever, being bondage. I didn't think they need to throw that in there though. But oh well. So he died. He takes the thing out, the knife out, and he dies, and then Wakanda's back the way it was, and he buys the buildings where his father killed his uncle. He buys the buildings to be part of the Wakanda resources or whatever. He shows some kids their ship. And then he's at the World Corps meeting, tells them that we're sharing Wakanda, basically. And at the post-credit scene, back at Wakanda, the sister is talking with Sebastian Stan, Bucky Barnes. Bucky, the Winter Soldier. How he's recovering with him in Civil War to get the Hydra words out of his head. It appears he has recovered well out of that, so then you see he has a cameo appearance there. So yeah, I'm not as enthused just by how I'm less enthused by it. I didn't care. I was disappointed in Black Panther. Although, still glad we still have it because, people want. There's a long time, for years, wanted to have a Black Panther film. So I'm so glad we got one because Black Panther should have his own film. But T'Challa in the Black Panther suit, he was not in it that much. They had that in the first with the opening action where it was too dark to see. It was like too dark to see. It was like couldn't tell what much was happening. And then the car chase scene, which wasn't much either because you saw all that in the trailer, so it wasn't big enough impact. And then towards the third act, where he fights some of the border tribes, he even does like one of those he's like, he gets enough energy to make it explode. He does this to the ground to make him push them all back. And then the CGI fight had with Michael B. Jordan. It was a lame fight as well. I mean, I know Marvel has... People say that Marvel needs to work on their villains. Yeah, I can see, though. A lot of people are... You can say a lot of people are disappointed with the Marvel villains. Like, people didn't like Ultron, especially, because I disagree with that. I loved Ultron in Age of Ultron. James Spader did a great job as Ultron. A lot of people hate that film because they didn't like Ultron. I disagree with it. It's my opinion, though, but I loved Ultron. And other villains, I enjoy Caecilius. Mads Mikkelsen did a good job as Caecilius. Yeah, I can see the character is still one-dimensional for his motives and all that still, but still, acting-wise, Mads Mikkelsen did a good job. Still, I liked him because I met Mads Mikkelsen and I told him he did a good job in the film, and he was a nice guy. So he watched my little video how I explained his autograph and Pop autograph and the picture with him. I told him he did a good job in that film, and he was a nice guy too. It was great meeting him. So, yeah, because that's the more I like Doctor Strange. Yeah, I can still say the character was lame. Its character itself was lame though, but acting wise, Mads Mikkelsen did a good job. Kurt Russell, I thought he did a good job as the bad guy of Ego, the Living Planet. But other Marvel villains, you could still say need work as well. But those are some of the villains I liked. I like Ego the Living Planet. I loved Ultron. Andy Serkis. I think he was much better villain than Michael B. Jordan was. Like I said, I'm mad because they should not have killed him off. Shows how we could have done more with Julius's claw. But the action scenes were not good at all to me. Sadly, I was underwhelmed. CGI was, like I said, Ready Player One had better visuals than this film did. Comparing to visuals like especially the third act fight and the CG rhinos, I thought was laughable. Riding on the rhinos. I just thought it was laughable. And Black Panther was not in the Black Panther suit. Him being the Black Panther suit wasn't in it that much. And the issues they don't explain like T'Challa, he knows all the stuff, but he doesn't explain tell everybody about all the stuff. That's the thing. That's nothing that didn't make sense. It's like he knows all the stuff that his father killed his own brother in self-defense. Why don't you explain to Michael when they brought Michael B. Jordan in? Why don't you explain? Oh, when he said you're the son of a king, you're the son of a murderer. And why don't you tell him that no? Because your father was going to kill Forrest Whitaker, Zuri, or James, but my father did it in self-defense. Or why don't you tell Daniel Kaluuya that, because the reason why I couldn't get Claw is that you helped him out. You helped break Andy Serkis out of the custody, and why don't you tell Daniel Kaluuya that as well? That's why I couldn't get him. Even when he was there, when he was brought in, why don't you tell him that he's the reason why I couldn't get Claw because of him. And even when he was pointless to kill Claw anyway, because even if we brought him back alive, he would still be able to get into Wakanda anyway. So yeah. Other than the acting was good and the performances were not bad, but just how the way the villain was written for Michael B. Jordan. He was fine. He was still good acting wise, but I also prefer his acting with this over more his performance in Creed, because I didn't like Creed. But he was good for what he had to work with. what was I trying to say? Yeah, other than the acting though, but the action I did not care for. The plot, some of the plot issues didn't make no sense. They should, like what I said. It was, and for a film that was like over 2 hours, it was slow and I would say boring. That's the thing. I was getting bored by the film, and now it's become like now the worst out of the MCU films. The worst is Iron Man 3. I would rather watch this than Iron Man 3. That made me Iron Man 3 just made me mad. Still, that's the worst MCU film. I would still watch this over Iron Man 3. And like I said, the film got so much acclaim and hype because what? Because of, not just trying to say though, but black superhero. I mean, did anybody forget about Blade? Wesley Snipes and Blade? That was years before Black Panther. I think that for one point they wanted to talk to when making a Black Panther film from years ago. They wanted Wesley Snipes to be that. I could have seen Wesley Snipes to play Black Panther. Him using his martial arts to do some of the Black Panther stuff. I could have seen that. I could see him playing a Black Panther, using some of his martial arts to do some stuff in the Black Panther suit. But that was years in development though. But Blade, people forget about Blade for starting a black superhero. Oh yeah, Blade 2, screw Blade Trinity, forget that. But Blade, I would say is better than this though, because I love Blade. I reviewed Blade for the 20th anniversary. You can check that out. I love Blade. Wesley Snipes, great, fantastic as Blade. Especially the freaking opening with the blood, with the rave, the blood shower, and all that stuff. Blade, Wesley Snipes, he was kick-ass as Blade. And the film got so much claim, like 97% of Rotten Tomatoes. I don't see how. Like all the other Marvel films, this got 97%, one of the highest in the MCU films. And this film was. And also what surprised me, this film was a huge hit. Opening $202 million on opening weekend. Highest debut in February. One of the highest openings of all time. $202 million. I don't see how this film got that huge of an opening. The film made $1.3 billion. Like, $1,360-some million. Second highest grossing film behind Infinity War. How this film made so much money? Why? Because of the hype or the whole scenario? I don't know why. This film got critically acclaimed, and well, last year, Wonder Woman got critically acclaimed surprisingly, and that film was a huge hit as well. It made over $800 million. Why? Because of the female superhero. Because of people were liking that. Because a critically acclaimed film. Like this film, I did not care for, and when I reviewed Wonder Woman, I got so much crap for that because of what I said. Why? I don't know why, but hey, people love that movie though. But some people, and so I'm sure I'm going to say the same thing about this film because hey, I got hated for Wonder Woman. I'm not wrong for my opinion. I'm sorry, and. Although I will watch this over Wonder Woman, but it's not saying much though. And wait, also because why? Because I also didn't like the film because it was a female director. Hey, Catherine Bigelow, who directed The Hurt Locker. I like The Hurt Locker. That was directed by a female director. Or the woman who directed Kung Fu Panda 2. I like that film, and that was directed by a woman. What's the difference? I just didn't care for Wonder Woman. As such, I did not care for Gal Gadot. Although I rather watch Chadwick Boseman because I like him in Civil War, and I liked him acting wise in this film, but I rather watch this over Wonder Woman. But I got hated for that film, and why am I gonna get hated for this now? No, I just think I was underwhelmed and disappointed in the film. Especially, and people forget it's just a movie. No need to lose your heads. It's just only a movie. It's all people can have. Opinions, good opinions or bad opinions, where you say it's all subjective. People seem to lose their heads, their minds. Oh my god, you hate this movie, and you just screw you and all that. People forget it's only just a movie. People can like or dislike. We agree to disagree. Calm down. If you like Wonder Woman, that's your opinion. I respect that opinion. If you like Black Panther, that's your opinion too. I respect your opinions. You can agree or disagree with me on certain things. I respect people's opinions. A lot of people like what I have to say about certain films. That's their opinions. If people like what I say, that's their opinions. If they don't like what I say, that's their opinions too. It's only a movie. Just calm down. So, in my opinion, I say I did not like Black Panther. That's why I'm putting it as a rant. Hey, but I still enjoy many of the Marvel movies. Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Volume 2, all 3 of the Captain America movies. Oh, what else? Well, the first Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk. What other ones? Spider-Man Homecoming, I did like. Oh, Ant-Man and Ant-Man the Wasp. That's an MCU that came out during the summer this year. I like Ant-Man the Wasp. Deadpool 1 and 2. Well, especially I enjoyed the second film more than the first film. So yeah, but the Deadpool got praise. I like that movie. But yeah, so I'm already gonna say. I mean, positives like the acting and especially Danai Gurira, who played Michonne from Walking Dead. She did a more good action sequences than Black Panther did, sadly. The action sequence I didn't care for, and the CG, like I said, and the pacing and killing off Claw was a big mistake to me. One of the best superhero movies of the century. Richard Roeper from the Chicago Sun-Times. One of the best superheroes movies of the century. I disagree with that. An action-packed adventure. I disagree with that because the action scenes you saw in the trailers and it wasn't much. But yeah, all the acting from the cast were good though. But just what else was there? So yeah. But yeah, so I gotta say, Ready Player One, I would say I liked more than this because there's stuff, like I said, I like though. But even though I don't love it because the lead was not good, and neither was the villain. That's the two big issues. But I don't love it. I'm more thinking about it, it's probably not gonna be in my top 10 favorites. Probably it is an honorable mention though, but it's probably not gonna be. But is this the worst film of this year? No. I've seen a lot worse because one particular film pissed me off the most. So it's not gonna be the worst film. I don't think it's not gonna be in my top 5 worst films of this year. Probably 6 through 10. Who knows? So it's not the worst. I've seen a lot worse. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on Rant on Black Panther. So like I said, it's only a movie, so it's only my opinion. If you like the film, I respect your opinion. If you like it, that's fine. But in my opinion, I don't like it. I was disappointed in it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next movie review. Later.